What's going on, warriors? It's your boy, Lionheart, and um, how you doing? I'm doing good. I hope you guys are doing good. And we're about to get into this one. Man, this is really an unfortunate topic, situation, and video that I have to do. Hideaki Itsuno, the legend of Capcom, is leaving after 30 years. And this is a big deal. This means Devil May Cry is done. It's over for Devil May Cry. No more. Dragon's Dogma, it's over. We're never going to get Dragon's Dogma sequel ever again. We're never going to get a Devil May Cry ever again. And if it is, it will not be worthy. Because Hideaki Itsuno, Dragon's Dogma, that's his baby. That's the original work that he created. His dream project was Dragon's Dogma. He's been on record to say that. And Devil May Cry, there were only 3 people that could make a Devil May Cry. Yeah, that was Shinji Mikami, he's gone. Hideki Kamiya, he's gone. And now Hideaki Itsuno. Those are the only 3 people that could make a Devil May Cry that were in Capcom. And they are 3 of the Capcom gods. Yeah. You also did have another guy called Ryota Suzuki. Yeah. And he was the Devil May Cry 5 game and battle designer. Yeah. And he worked on Monster Hunter World. You know, he was like a battle programmer in that game, right? And you know what, yeah? Let's run down the Capcom gods just so we understand the significance of it, yeah? Let's start with Hideaki Itsuno, yeah? So Hideaki Itsuno, he worked on Street Fighter Alpha, yeah? Yep, that was Hideaki Itsuno. Rival Schools, yep, that was him. Power Stone, Capcom vs SNK, Devil May Cry, Dragon's Dogma, Star Gladiator, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the godlike version on the PS2, that was him. Automodelista, godlike cel-shaded driving game. That's a deep cut. If you know about that game, you're about that life. Yeah, and he also helped a game called Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. Yeah, he actually worked on that game, even though that was an Atlas game, just to make sure that Dante was done properly. Yeah, like they didn't disrespect him. He came to work with that company exclusively for that. Yeah, so he's a legend, man. He's done incredible. And that's why I call him one of the Capcom gods. Yeah, there's another guy called Itsushi Inaba. Yeah, also was in Capcom. He worked on Beautiful Joe, Ukami, and God Hand. Yeah, but he's also worked on Bayonetta, Nier Automata, Star Fox Zero, Metal Gear Rising, Anarchy Reigns, to name a few of the games. Yeah, he's now the CEO, you know, of Platinum Games. Yeah, but he was originally one of the Capcom gods. Yeah, as you can tell by the titles I mentioned. Of course, there's the Ryota Suzuki, who's a Devil May Cry 5 battle designer, game battle designer, and he worked on Monster Hunter World. He was a programmer, and he is the battle director for Final Fantasy 16. Yeah, so that should tell you everything that you need to know. Shinji Mikami, he Resident Evil, it's his birth child, right? And Devil May Cry, the original Devil May Cry, is an offset of Resident Evil. When they were trying to create Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 4, the original one, they were messing around with ideas. And Devil May Cry was an offset of one of those creative ideas, but he was like, this is too action-based for a Resident Evil game. And he was working with Hideki Kamiya. And so he gave the project completely to Hideki Kamiya. Says, if you can make see if you can make an action game or something with this. Devil May Cry 1 happened. Yeah. that shows you how the legendary status of Shinji Mikami. Yeah, and also he went on to make Vanquish, Shadow of the Damned. He created his own studio, Tango Games Works, even though he's not there anymore because it got bought by Microsoft and it got hollowed out. We all know the situation with that. Yeah, Shinji Mikami, one of the Capcom gods. As I said, Hideki Kamiya, when he was in Capcom, Resident Evil, Devil May Cry, Okami, and then of course he went on to join Platinum Games, yeah, with Itsushi Inaba, and they made Bayonetta, Astral Chain. Even though he didn't make Astral Chain, he was like an advisor on that game, but it was his students that made that game. Beautiful Joe, Aniki Reigns, the Wonderful 101. That's the caliber of games that this man makes. Yeah. Those are the Capcom gods, all gone. Oh yeah, and Yoshihiro Uno, yeah, he is Street Fighter. Street Fighter 5, Yoshihiro Uno. Although the one thing I will say about Ono is before he left, he did look really ill. Yeah. That looked like a man that was overworked. He was ill. The day before, or the couple days before he got back to full health, they got him working again. Yeah, that's what he looked like when he left. Overworked. Right? And this is a disaster. They basically lost the Capcom gods. The only Capcom god that they have left is Ryoto Sugimoto and his Monster Hunter team. Ryoto Sugimoto, he worked on Monster Hunter, pretty much all of them. Auto Modelista, right? He is a legend in Capcom, along with those original names. And there is another guy who I won't say he's a Capcom god, but he's like a Capcom deity. Yeah, he's on the way. Yeah, and that is Yoshiaki Hirobayashi. Yeah, and it's pretty much because of him we've got Resident Evil 2 Remake and Resident Evil 4 Remake. He worked directly on those games. Yeah, even though I don't like Resident Evil Remake because of professional mode. That game is professional. Difficulty in that game is horrible, right? The whole kind of thing where bullets track you, you standing behind a building, but the bullets are somehow still hitting you. It feels like a random lottery and all that type of stuff, right? But the game itself was good. That is one of the best games I've ever played in standard. The first time round playing Resident Evil 4 Remake was one of the best experiences I've ever had playing a video game, right? But it's just, once you play it, you want to play it in the hardest difficulty, and the hardest difficulty is not even challenging, it's just random. My little rant about that game, but I still love that game, yeah? Just had flaws. Right, so those are the only really two guys left that can hold up Capcom and their teams. But the teams need those two people. And this is a disaster because Capcom have had the most successful, I don't know, is it 7 years? They just couldn't miss Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil Village, Devil May Cry 5, Monster Hunter World, Monster Hunter Rise, Devil May Cry 5. They just could not miss. They can't miss. It was just incredible game after incredible game after incredible game. Resident Evil 2 Remake. Just the biggest games that they have had have been in recent time. Until I think 2017, their biggest selling game had sold like 4 million. They were on the verge of bankruptcy. And now you've got Monster Hunter that has sold like almost 40 million units. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And you see all these kind of incredible games that has come out from Capcom where they just set out on just pure, sheer quality. When you look at the games, as I said, Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 8, Devil May Cry 5, Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Monster Hunter World, Monster Hunter Rise. It was just, without a doubt, Capcom are the best video game studio in the world right now. They're the best. But they've lost. That is a massive blow for Capcom. It is huge. I can't even articulate enough how much of a massive blow this is. Monster Hunter is holding that game up. Because if you look at a game like, say, example, Street Fighter 6, yeah, massive production, good graphics, that game ain't it. That game isn't it. That game's been out like over a year now. Almost a year and a half. That game has sold, to this time, right now, September the 2nd, 2024, that game has sold 3.7 million units. That's not good enough. That game was made on that Monster Hunter money. And we all know that. That game has not broken even. That game, and the thing is, yeah, that game, it is popular. It is popular within the circle that is popular, but it's not. Without Monster Hunter, that game would be an utter failure. It's only because they have that Monster Hunter money. And they had Devil May Cry that has sold almost 8 million. Devil May Cry 5 that sold almost 8 million units. You have Monster Hunter that has sold over 30 million. You have Resident Evil 7 that has sold, I don't know how many units that has sold actually. I think it's like maybe 13 million or something like that. And Resident Evil Village has sold over 9 million, coming close to 10 million units. Those are the games that are carrying Capcom. Those are the games that allow Capcom to make a couple of mistakes. Capcom should have just, I don't know what happened, but they should have given him whatever creative freedom he wanted. They should have given him a good contract. Done everything in their power to keep that man, because he is important. The amount of talent and creativeness in that man's mind, that he has amassed over 30 years. Over 30 years. It's priceless. Why would they let that go? Even if he said, I want to go to be more creative. Why did Capcom say you could be creative here? What do you want to make? We'll allow you to make any game you want. You want to start a new IP? What IP is that? Do you want to do a new Rival Schools? Do you want to do a new Star Gladiator? You want to create a whole new game? You want to do a Dragon's Dogma 2? DLC? You want to make a Dragon's Dogma on a Devil May Cry 6? A Dragon's Dogma 3? What do you want to do, Hideaki? What do you want to do? That's what they should be saying to him. Value the man that he is worth. All the value. So, deeply unfortunate that we've lost the man, the Capcom god. We've only got one left now. No more. No more. No more Devil May Cry. Nobody in Capcom can make a Devil May Cry game. Yes, they can. But in terms of the sheer quality and the love that game has got, the value of Devil May Cry 5 now has gone through the roof. If you don't have Devil May Cry 5 now, you need to get that game before any kind of craziness happens where they try to delist it or whatever. But the value of that game is now just in a different realm right now. And Dragon's Dogma 2. Because you're never going to get games of that type, that quality from Capcom for the foreseeable future. They're going to need to develop talent up to the level that can create games of that level. Think about it. It took Hideaki Itsuno 30 years to amass that amount of knowledge, experience, and ability to make those games. You can't just have somebody. I mean, end of the day, look, Street Fighter 6 shows it. Street Fighter 6 shows you that you can have people that can make the game, but they don't. It doesn't have the heart of Street Fighter. It looks like Street Fighter, but it's not the heart of Street Fighter. It's a live service monetization game. Street Fighter. It's a live service monetization game. It's just that they didn't lie like Tekken. Like, for example, Tekken is the same thing like Street Fighter. Except with Tekken, they lied. They deceived, they manipulated, and they cheated. They didn't tell anybody about the microtransactions, about the live service, about the model that they were going to use. Tekken already did it. There was a game called Tekken Revolutions. Nobody played that damn game because it was live service game. People stayed away from that. And so what they did in Tekken 8 was they sold you a full game, a numbered title, and then they put in that Tekken Revolutions free-to-play nonsense live service that nobody wanted. Street Fighter 6 is the same thing, except they were honest from the outset. And that is why, yes, the game is popular because of Street Fighter, but it's also, if you look at it, the game is carried by content creators. Content creators literally, and their fan base of the content creators carry that game to where it is right now. If it wasn't for the content creators that are basically in bed with Capcom, Street Fighter 6 would be dead. It would be completely gone. And of course, they've got the tournament series where the prize pool for winning the tournament is 1 million USD. If it wasn't for that, Street Fighter 6 would be dead. Utter failure, right? But they could do that because of that Monster Hunter money, right? And they could say that the game is hugely successful because content creators and VTubers are playing that Street Fighter 6 and their tens of thousands or hundreds or thousands of viewers are watching that game. Although the thousands and tens of thousands of people that watch that game, they're not actually watching the game, they're watching the content creator. If that content creator was to play Waku Waku 7, yeah, or, I don't know, Tetris, those tens of thousands of people or hundreds of people or thousands of people would watch. If those people were to play, I don't know, Puzzle Fighter, they would watch. If those people were to, if they were to play Bayonetta, all those viewers would watch. They watch a content creator, not really the game, right? So the reason I'm saying that is I'm trying to say that the Street Fighter 6 developers now, they're not it. They are not it. Yeah. They were handed the title, and yes, they created a game with amazing graphics, good graphics. Well, the graphics look good. They do look good. They do look good. Yeah, it's nothing amazing when it goes into like the story mode or that type of stuff or the battle hub. But yeah, in-game graphics do look good. Models do look good. Yeah, that's for sure. But the game ain't it. Yeah. But then you'll look at that type of a game and then you realise that, yes, you can have all the ingredients, the graphics, the budget, everything, but the heart is not there. And that's why I say Devil May Cry is over. The people that were there from the beginning, that have developed with that game, that have watched that game, that have learned from the creators of that game. They know the mindset of that game. They love the character Dante. They're all gone. Same for Dragon's Dogma. That's why you don't see Beautiful Joe. That's why Beautiful Joe, gone. You'll never see a Beautiful Joe. Because Hideki Kamiya's not there. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. It's deeply, deeply unfortunate that we've lost Hideaki Itsuno. Lost in terms of he's no longer with Capcom. But he says he's going to, he's still got the creative drive to make games. You know, he's 50, you know. He's still got plenty of time left, a lot of energy and a lot of creativity left in the tank. Devil May Cry 5 and Dragon's Dogma has shown that. And he says that he's going to be creating more games, and I'm going to, whatever game he makes, I'm going to buy that game, watch it, support it, talk about it. Right, it has to be good though. I'm not just gonna like support and anything, right, just because I like the guy. Yeah, right, but I will follow his works. I'll talk about if I see anything, and yeah, we'll go from there. So yeah, Warriors, it's unfortunate once again. Capcom. I mean, they're still. I mean, look, they are still the best video game company in the world. I don't think there's a question about that. And with Monster Hunter Wilds on the horizon, their stock is about to go up even more. Yeah. But it's just, I feel like he deserves more respect than just a social media post saying that he's retiring from Capcom. He's still going to make a game, but he's retiring from Capcom, leaving Capcom. So yeah, Warriors, I want to say thanks for watching. Deeply appreciate you. So yeah, thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, all that type of good stuff. Ring the bell icon. And yeah, till my next video, take care, stay blessed, and yeah, catch you next one. Laters.